out some of the drought. It's my understanding that it's going to take a little more than what we've gotten uh, in the past to completely pull us out. But still, we're getting out of it. So it'll be a little steamy, if you will, with all this hot weather coming up now. But it's not been in the 90s, it's been in the 80s. So it's been some pretty good weather. And we'll see how that all moves forth. This morning we have back in the studio with us, Mayor Mitch Coleman is with us, along with Councilmember Brenda McNair from District 7. We're going to be talking taxes, really, and talking about this budget. On Tuesday, Councilmember McNair was in with Assistant Manager Yates and Dr. Hewitt, and we were talking about the budget, and we wanted to talk about that. But let me say one thing before we go further. Last week, Miss McDonald called in, and she was talking about the county. They had received a call, well, at least she did, and I guess it was a group call to all the individuals that the money had run out for the transportation for them to get to their dialysis appointments. Made a call to Chairman Deviere and got a text from him this morning. He said that money has been replaced, so you guys should be okay. All right. Ms. McDonald, if you're out there, you can give me a call directly at 910-286-0368, because I want that certainly to be taken care of. Reverend Carl and I was talking, our producer, Reverend Dr. Carl Brinkley, he and I were talking, look, if needs be, we were going to round up the preachers, all of these church vans and everything else to make sure that these people get to their dialysis appointments. You can't not go to that.
Right.
So we had discussed that was going to be Plan B, but I believe that that's been taken care of. So, Ms. McDonald, please rest well. You all should never have gotten that call in the beginning, but that's another story. Okay. So, but again, we're back to talk about this budget. Now, I'm going to preface some things. It's my understanding. Okay, so 1 cent for the city means that is a $2.4 million.
Roughly.
Roughly, right. So just 1 cent.
Right.
So I think that the budget that the city manager proposed to the council, and that is his statutory responsibility. That's what he has to do, is to propose a balanced budget. That would be $7.2 million roughly, because it was 3 cents.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
I just want to make sure
Right.
we all on the same sheet of music here. And also to our listeners and viewers that you understand. So when they say, oh, it's only a 1 cent tax increase. Okay, that's okay, all right. But we're talking about $2.4 million here, okay? So, but that's where we are.
Recurring.
Right, recurring, all right. So, Mr. Mayor, good morning to you.
Good morning, how you doing?
Councilmember McNair, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Williams.
Right, so I just want to preface that with that so people kind of understand, what that's about. And now, Mr. Mayor, I guess we're going to delve into that. You guys are meeting again at 10 o'clock this morning, correct?
Meeting again at 10 o'clock. We've had 3 previous budget work sessions, all on Thursdays at 10. And I think we'll need one more today. We'll kind of go through, council members have been sending questions and making suggestions to say, hey, run these projections. I sent some questions to say, if we did not, out of that money that you just described, if 3 cents was given, which I certainly don't support, and I haven't heard of many colleagues that were saying they were supporting a tax increase at this moment. But out of that money, a certain amount, one of those pennies or 2 pennies goes toward projects like building things, capital projects. And today we're saying that instead of setting 6 cents toward that, what does it look like if you sent 5 cents toward it? And that saves in the overall scheme of things. So there's multiple levers the council has other than raising the taxes that you can, squeeze over here, say that we're going to stretch something that we were going to do over 2 budget years. And so we've asked a lot of scenarios like that, one of which is cost of living increase for staff. When you give people a raise, you have to have that money in the budget year after year after year. I asked, and some of the other council members asked, that instead of giving a 4% increase, which if you make $55,000 and I would say probably 50% of the people for the city make under $60,000, you're only talking after taxes an additional $117 a month. And so that is money, but would they be better suited if we went maybe 3 cents and gave a one-time bonus of $1,500 or $1,700 like we did in the years past? Doing it that way allows us to use money that does not have to be accounted for on a recurring basis. Therefore, you don't have to have a penny on the tax rate to pay for it. You see what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
you have a reserve account that you can use for one-time things. And so people, to me, were a lot more appreciative at Christmas when they got a bonus of $1,500 or $1,700 to help offset some of their expenses and a modest tax increase. I mean, a modest cost of living increase month by month, because by the time the taxes get through with it and you pay your gas and all of that, that $117, you really don't feel the impact of it. And a lot of these families are faced with immediate needs. And so I've asked, and some other council members asked, that give us the pros and cons and the projection of those kind of things.
Sure. So, I mean, and I know that was, you guys would enter into the negotiation phase of that, and which is different from the legislative level, guys. So you see what happens is there you have one proposed budget and two budgets. So the governor says, okay, this is what I think the budget should look like. He doesn't have a budget because it's a legislative process. And then you have the House and the Senate. They come up with their budgets, and they have to match those. And then, of course, the governor has what he or she thinks it should be, and they mix all of it in. And what happened with us, the House and the Senate couldn't agree.
You're right.
And,
Still, right?
Still, right. They're still, they couldn't agree over some issues. And so, but what happens is we don't stop. They just operate off of the last budget.
Right.
But locally, it's not the same when we get to the municipal level and the county level that's here. We don't do that. The manager, by law, has to bring forth a budget to them, and that's what the mayor's talking about now.
And by June 30th, if you have to adopt it, you don't have those luxuries to say that we're going to fight over that. It's got to be done, period. And so we'll get it done. I think we'll need another meeting or two or whatever is necessary, but we've got to June 30. They were projected to have 3 and see where we are, and so today is the third of the 3.
So you guys have to look, Councilman McNair, where now what the city manager is projecting. I mean, what he says he wants, he was sitting right there. Okay.
Yep.
So that's 7.2 million, and that's what he said.
Right.
I'm not criticizing that. I don't run the city. I don't know, but that's what he says he needs. And now you all have to make a decision as to whether or not that's going to work. Now, what he did say was, and I recall him saying this, he said that what they do is that they look at the entire year. They're analyzing things as they go along. So you guys sitting up there and y'all's talking about it, and y'all have all y'all little wish lists and everything. Yeah. And so that plays a part into what he's asking for. You see what I'm saying?
True.
So, I mean, fair enough?
Well, that's true. And we will get there with our wish list, right? That everybody has 2-3 items that they throw in what we call a parking lot, and we'll have to hash it out as to how that comes. What we're looking to him for is the professional guidance to say, have your departments tighten the belt up, or are you spending on some things? And what we've had to do in times past, you fund a project for, let's say, $5 million and it costs $4 million. Have you moved that $1 million back into the pot? Because once you did it in a previous year's budget and you kind of go on and forget about it, you have to do another step to get the money back into consideration. So we're looking under every pillow like that. I think that, with this budget, I certainly was not happy to see that there were not additional dollars put in place for the homeownership program. Very successful program. Made a lot of people into homeowners. The down payment assistance, I think that it was either minimized or was not fully funded like it was in times past. But we'll look at that as to why. As Councilmember McNair and I were talking off air, there were some departments like Office of Community Safety that we put a lot of upfront money in, and now it's building itself out. So we need to look and see, is it staffed, or do you have some positions that you're holding? Because here's the thing. If you have a position that is factored into the budget, whether there's a person in that position or not, that money is taken out of the equation. So $50,000 per head, and you got 10 positions, that's $500,000 that as if they're receiving that. And so you may have vacant positions that go on and on for months or years that you have to look back at that and say, we need to recalculate that money and use it. You know, the gas prices for people, the tariffs, the cost of living, you know, what we're hearing from all of our citizens is that, look, we can't afford anything else right now. And so until those things settle down, we've got to be creative and figure out how it is we make the city run well. We fund those things that have worked. We maybe pause some of those things that haven't, and we'll find a way to do it without putting any burden on the citizens. That's my perspective.
Well, because I had a question about lap salaries.
Yep.
I mean, you know, I've never been a department here, but I was a mid-level manager in the county on a county job a couple of times. And so, you know, I know you have these vacant positions. I'm not picking on the police. I just talk about the police.
Right.
Because I hear it all the time. Well, we got X, Y, Z number of vacant positions. And as you stated, they're being funded.
Yeah.
Now, where does that money go? Because some of that money is annually rolling over and rolling over
Right.
and rolling over. But those positions, you're paying for the positions, but there's nobody in there.
Right.
So,
Now, on the police department, what we did, we froze those, meaning that we didn't factor that into the budget. We took about 38 of them and froze them. You know, I think we were maybe, 80 down, and Roberto has closed that gap. And so now we're down to the original 38 or 39 we funded almost. And so I think instead of unfreezing all 38, because you don't have the need to tie that money up or that capacity, I think maybe we unfreeze 10. That goes a long way with him. But his main thing was technology. Like, we started a process of building out our camera system, adding some components to it, some first responder drones and things that help make the manpower go farther. And I think it'll be more beneficial instead of tying up the money for 38 positions to help build out his technology that he's asked for. So.
okay, all right. Well, that's one department, and
Right. It's about 60% of the budget, though.
Right, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
Public
okay.
safety, I mean.
Sure. Well, that's good. I know you have a number of departments, like you know, city parks and recs. That's
Yep.
a combined thing with the county, correct?
Right, and we're, you know, I got a meeting later on this week or the day with the chairman that we've got to wrap up that. You know, the city and the county have been working in partnership on Parks and Rec since 2006.
Correct.
We were working off 2006 rates, and so we've been trying for a couple of years now to get that adjusted because nothing has stayed the same cost-wise since 2006. So hopefully we can get that agreement renewed, but that is a great example of how partnerships work. You know, the city and the county offset that, but it does cost us to manage it and maintain and operate it. And so Parks and Rec is an area, like you said, they pay their share for the cost for the maintenance of their facilities, but you know, to run the program, the city handles that, and we'll need them to make some cost of living adjustments on that.
Yeah. I would think, though, that because you brought up the whole housing issue, I would think that federal money, HUD, would be able to contribute to some of that, and that would lessen the burden upon the local taxpayer.
Well, you know, HUD's got strenuous rules with theirs. So, you know, what we found is that you got low to moderate income people who a lot of the programs are built for, which they need it. But you don't have a lot of homeowners in that space. You know what I mean? If you're making 60% of the average median income, even if you got the down payment worked out, you know, the banks don't finance that real easy. And so HUD's has a little bit more restriction. So we've put some federal dollars with it, and the state gave us some money, and we used some COVID money a couple of years ago, and we put a pot of maybe $3 million to where we're now able to offer it to people who are working, who make too much to get HUD qualified, you know, school teacher, bus driver, but we offered it to, you know, if you work for the city, the county, Fayetteville State, the hospital, Methodist, FTCC, any public institution that you're eligible for it, and that's worked real well. And so that's the fund we got to reload up. I don't think the HUD money can be used for it. We did have a program we approved the other day to where if you have a neighborhood, some of these neighborhoods we're trying to to backfill and build back up, that the city will give $50,000 interest free to someone to build a house there. And then they'll give $50,000 down payment assistance if you sell it to someone in that community or that buys a house in that community. And that's going to work real well in places like Jasper Street. You know, we're seeing, new construction on Jasper Street. That's the first time I've seen that in 30, 40 years, that people are actually investing in those kind of things. And so I think that'll help offset that. But we want more people to own their home here. So.
Right. Well, I think that's the model in America, really. That's the wealth builder, or the one that families need is home ownership.
Right.
And if you don't have that,
Right.
then that's a negative.
Yeah, I mean your net value, your net worth is substantially higher when you're a homeowner versus a renter. So we want to, and it's not for everybody, but we want to try to expand that to where it's possible for people. You've got people who've paid rent for a number of years, they've been good stewards, but just can't get over the hump to get the down payment and to get the qualifications. And so the down payment assistance has helped with that a lot.
But when it comes to the building projects like the tennis courts out on Phillips Plant Drive and some of the other things that deal with recreation, that was Parks and Bond. That was a Parks bond that's paying for that, correct?
Right, yeah. So the citizens specifically voted for it. I think it was 2.5, 3 cents at the time. And so that money is a different pot of money, but they authorized it. Same thing on the bond that they passed in 2022 for housing, for infrastructure, and for public safety. That money, again, the citizens voted for it, is going to build, new area for 911. It's going to build, you see all these, any neighborhood you go in just about, you see street paving happening and road construction, so that's paying for that, and our sidewalks. So the citizens said those things were important to them, so we're in the process of fulfilling those commitments. But at the end of it, Troy, a penny's a penny and a dollar's a dollar, whether they voted for it or not. You add 2 cents over here 2 years ago, and you add 2 cents over here from 2018 when the Parks and Rec was passed, or 2016, and all of a sudden, you've got a different commitment, and so that's why we got to be conscious when it comes time to adding any more tax increase on there this year. Is going to be a tough sell for me.
Right. And reminder, 1 cent is approximately 2.4 million. Okay. So another issue, Mr. Mayor and Councilman McNair, is PWC and what people call patching. So you see them sometimes. They have to come in and they got to do. There's a water line break or whatever beneath the street, and they got to dig that up.
Right.
Okay. And then you drive along, and some people you see. You got the old looking road, and then you got this real dark, like a patch, like some clothing. You put back in the day, before you had patches on your clothes. There's something about patches. But anyway, so, and then there are people that are saying, hey, no, I want my whole street paved.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know there was some serious discussion between PWC and the city one time about who's going to pay for this. And because they were paying for the patching, who's going to pay for the entire street being paved if they had to dig it up? Mm-hmm. Where are we on that kind of conversation?
So there was an agreement, and it's a dispute whether it was a formal action or a gentleman's agreement or gentlewomen's agreement, or whatever you want to call it, to where if they had to go in the road, they would pave it at least to the corner. And so that had more so applied to Phase 5 out west when they were coming in, retrofitting some of the sewer and water out there. PwC recently said that now that is becoming a cost burden on them. And so we've got to figure out if they are responsible for doing it as a part of the work in Phase 5, which our understanding was, which every other utility has to do it that way. But they said that they're not opposed to doing it. They just want to send us a bill for everything above that. And so that's the part we've got to work out. At the end of the day, the citizens, like you said, I get more emails and talks about the streets being torn up and who's going to put it back and who'll fix it. So we've got to figure out a way to work through that. I know PwC can't continue to bear the burden of costs unlimited, but we are expecting them to play their part and be a good partner with that. But, Troy, this goes back to we're still cleaning up something that was very necessary, but it just wasn't well planned and thought out, this Phase 5 thing. And that's their biggest issue. It's not the extra $1 million they're spending for covering the street back up. It is this $100 million sewer expansion that started in 2006 that is now $300 or $400 million, and they're not going to be finished for another 5 to 6 years, where it's expected to be $600 or $700 million. And so, I've told them and I told the city that, look, we didn't create the problem, but the way out of it is let's do like we were just talking about with a bond. Let's do a citywide bond to where the whole city gets that paid for, because if not, taxpayers, ratepayers, a lot of times they're one and the same. I'm both. You both. If you've got PWC service, you live in the city, and you live in the county, so you pay city,
That's
county
true.
taxes and ratepayers. Get this done, because the taxpayer, ratepayer are going to pay double and triple for this the longer we wait, and they already have. So it's gone from 100 to possibly 600 million, stretching it out over 18 or 20 years. So let's just go and get it done, figure out what it is. Let's share the debt service and get West Fayetteville connected so that Brenda can get the growth that she's been waiting on out there.
Yes, Lord.
Well, look, we're going to go to a break. As stated before, talked to Chairman Deviere, Ms. McDonald, about that issue, and he's taking care of it. Those of you all that listen this morning, if you have issues, call the mayor.
What's up with you, man?
Oh, yeah, guys. I was only serious. Look, we're going to a break, and we'll come back for more following this.
In life's most difficult moments, you deserve compassion, dignity, and peace of mind. At Wiseman Mortuary, 431 Cumberland Street, we've been serving families with care and respect for generations. We're proud to announce our new location, Wiseman Mortuary of Garland, 65 North Belgrade Avenue, Garland, North Carolina. From traditional services to personalized tributes, we are here to guide you every step of the way with warm understanding and experience. Let us help you honor a life well lived. Wiseman Mortuary, where every life is celebrated and every family is cared for. Call us today at 910-483-7111 in Fayetteville or 910-529-1341 or visit wisemanmortuary.com to learn more. Wiseman Mortuary in Fayetteville and Garland, caring for families when it matters most.
President Donald Trump is asserting that Iran is negotiating on fumes and insisting November's midterm elections won't make him rush into a deal that ends the nearly 3-month-old conflict that spurred unease across the global economy. Speaking at the start of a cabinet meeting Wednesday, Trump expressed confidence that an agreement is near. Authorities say a second person has died from injuries suffered when a chemical tank ruptured at a Washington state paper mill, raising the presumed death toll to 11. Authorities said Tuesday that one person had already been confirmed killed in the blast. A small 2-seater plane with 2 people on board crashed in a wooded area just shy of the runway at an airport in Knightdale Wednesday afternoon, according to emergency officials. Fire, law enforcement, and EMS crews transported the pilot and the passenger to the hospital, where they're expected to recover. Greg Lindbergh, who just a few years ago was the biggest political donor in North Carolina before his insurance empire fell apart, has been sentenced to 12 years in federal prison. Melissa Vale, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. Beginning June 1st, the Cumberland County Department of Social Services will offer free box fans to eligible residents through the fan giveaway program. That's to help families stay safe during the summer heat. Residents may qualify if they meet income requirements and have a household member under age 2, over age 60, or with a heat-sensitive medical condition. The city of Fayetteville says they're excited to take the next step in bringing world-class recreation space to Fayetteville. Join Join them for the Courts at Glenville Lake ribbon cutting on June 3rd at 10 a.m. as they officially open this new hub for tennis, pickleball, and community activity. From beginner-friendly play to competitive opportunities, that facility was built to support residents of all ages and skill levels. The American Red Cross says blood donation appointments are down. Blood is needed for emergencies and life-saving medical care. Make your appointment to give today. When you help to build the blood supply this summer, you will get a free great gift in return. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie.
Good evening. Tonight's forecast. An isolated storm is possible early, then it's partly cloudy. Lows range from 65 to 70 degrees. Thursday, it's partly cloudy and hot. Highs range from 85 to near 90 degrees, but storm chances are down to just 20 to 30%. It's drier Friday and partly cloudy. Highs are in the low to mid 80s. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the NCN Weather Center.
It's one of life's simplest comforts. Turning on the tap and knowing clean, safe water's there. A glass before bed, a warm shower in the morning, water to cook, clean, and care for loved ones. So often, it's something that can be taken for granted. But behind every drop is a commitment to quality, safety, and service. At Fayetteville PWC, providing award-winning water is more than a service. It is a responsibility and a point of pride. Delivering clean, reliable water remains a top priority for Fayetteville and surrounding communities every single day, because clean water supports healthy families, strengthens neighborhoods, and helps communities thrive today and for generations to come. Discover more about the difference quality water makes at faypwc.com. Fayetteville PWC, always there, always on, always built to serve.
Hi, I'm Mitch Colvin, president of Colvin Funeral Home and Crematory. For over 50 years, our family has provided professional services with dignity, compassion, and respect with families during a time of need. We realize funeral services are as unique as those we're honoring. We offer a variety of affordable, quality services tailored to meet each family's needs, specializing in burial and cremation services. Proudly servicing Cumberland, Robeson, Hope, Harnett, Bladen, and surrounding counties from 2 locations, 2010 Murchison Road, Fayetteville, 1904 Elizabethtown Road, Lumberton. For more information, visit our website, www.hmcolvin.com.
Hey, Cumberland County. Looking for a job with purpose? Cumberland County government is hiring. We offer great career opportunities where you can serve your community and grow your future. Explore openings and apply today at cumberlandcountync.gov/jobs. Need help? The county's recruitment team is here to guide you every step of the way. Visit cumberlandcountync.gov/jobs to apply to join the Cumberland County team.
Hi, this is DJ Paul G.
And this is DJ 06. And we are the Gospel Blend Brothers. Join us every Friday
from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. for
the Drive Time Gospel Mix,
as we get you to and from your destination.
Vibing on good gospel music.
In the mix.
On WIDU 99.7 FM and 1600 AM. The Drive Time Gospel Mix.
Hello, I'm Eric Hurley with Fayetteville Police Department Traffic Unit. We don't write tickets to raise money. We write tickets to change behavior. Speed was the primary factor in more than 60% of the 28 fatal crashes we investigated last year. Every stop we make might be the one that prevents the next death. I'd rather give you a citation than tell your loved one you're never coming home.
I'm Detective Deal with the Fayetteville Police Department's Traffic Unit. As a crash reconstructionist, I don't guess what happened, I prove it. We measure, photograph, and digitally rebuild each fatal scene millisecond by millisecond. Speed is the most common factor we find in deadly crashes. I've seen cars split in half just because someone was in a hurry. These aren't freak accidents, they're choices, and every choice has a consequence.
If you see blue lights in 2026, expect a citation.
If we see this scene again, someone didn't listen. Your speed, your choice, your consequence.
Speed kills, respect the limit.
Unity picnic in the park. Join me, Councilwoman Brenda McNair, in communities for the 4th annual Unity in the Park. Celebration on Sunday, June 7, 2026. from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Lake Rim Park in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Experience a day of joy and camaraderie as we celebrate our vibrant community, delight in live music from local bands, engage in a kickball tournament, or explore our artisan market featuring unique handcrafted goods. Savor delicious offerings from gourmet food trucks and enjoy family-friendly activities in our kids zone. Learn from our firefighters and police officers interacting with the community.
And we're back now for the second half of the hour. We have Mayor Mitch Colvin along with Council Member Brenda McNair from District 7, and she's going to chime in now because we're not keeping her from saying anything right now. So.
First of all, I want to say thanks to Mama Colvin.
Oh, Lord. She bring that up.
Telling me to let us talk some.
Call them back out. Look, they can't keep a secret.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh, wow. You are fun, too.
So, anyway, you guys were talking about transportation, certainly in the western part of the community. Well, I don't think they got Ramsey Street figured out completely yet, but still, we need to make sure that's straight too. But anyway, let's talk about what's happening in the western part of the city when it comes to transportation. Like I said, I did bring up, I know that it hasn't been that long ago, whereas that there was some increased activity for Hope Loop Road, and that's right at the county line.
Don't look at me. Yeah.
What are you saying about that, Troy?
No, I'm just saying I'm saying that's a good thing.
Okay.
I'm just saying, but Hope Loop is right there at the county line. And so, you kind of like they're working back now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, because I believe that's in District 9.
Eight.
District 8, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Right there at the Walmart.
Yeah, right. So, and Councilmember Nair, so your thoughts on transportation for your district?
Yes, thank you for that, Mr. Troy. Actually, transit increase in West Fayetteville, we've been praying for that for quite a while now. Also, I have to say that we are growing economically in Fayetteville with businesses that's newly thriving there. But however, transit will actually give us more of a presence of assistance with those that struggle with being able to get back and forth, traveling from West Fayetteville to the east or whatever, Ramsey Street. I'm going to say Ramsey Street. So, but however, we need more transportation in West Fayetteville for those purposes and along with our growth. And I can see several areas that could support those initiatives, but however, I won't speak on that right now because I would like to get more input from our leader, Miss Tiffany. What's Tiffany's last name? Okay, don't worry about it. Her name is Tiffany. Nice.
I call her Tiffany.
Look.
Neal. Tiffany Neal.
Tiffany Neal.
I drew a blank.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then also, even though we are getting new businesses there now, I would like to see more stimulation of getting more businesses in that area because economic development is really very, very powerful. It's a very powerful initiative if we want our city to grow. And that's what we're looking for as a council and a mayor and city manager, growth in the city of Fayetteville.
There you go.
I'm very excited about that, Mr. Williams.
Sure. Well, I when I look at, I have a sister that lives in Stafford, Virginia. And matter of fact, she and her husband lived there probably 30 years plus. But I was in D.C. for some things one time, and man, I was like, listen, let me come down and spend the night with y'all. Right. And so what happened was, though, I really liked the way they operate because I could take my car and I could drive to the rail station and leave my car there at $5. And $5 I could get all the way and go to Union Station, D.C. You know, of course, we don't have railways like that, but still, I think that even in, I took a vacation once in Kansas City, and public transportation is big there too. You can get a bus and just go anywhere, get on the bus and go anywhere. I think that we can do better with that. But what some people don't realize and know that transit is not going to make you money. That's not something that you're going to make money off of, and that's anywhere. That's highly federally funded. And I would love to see us get there because I believe that we had that person in one time. I don't know if they were with you or who they were with, Councilmember McNair, but the transportation person was in, a young lady. Public transportation ought to be something that is a choice and not necessarily a necessity.
Right.
You know?
For sure. You know, strong communities have strong transportation, and you know, I stood up a transportation committee which will analyze where we are with not only our transit, our airport, our rails, you know, and our streets and roads, how it all fits together and how we grow. Charlotte did it a few years back, and they were able to leverage that and get the bond passed for the connecting not only Mecklenburg County but the surrounding counties. So it's a regional system. We talked off air that there had been a lot of discussion around here about regional transportation. The mayors of Hope Mills and Spring Lake and I, as well as their predecessors, and I don't know if it goes back to mine, have been talking about it. But what we need is, in order for that to work, kind of like the Triangle has, they got a Go Durham, Go Triangle, or Go Raleigh system. You know, there's a half cent that you can get added to sales tax that everyone pays, including visitors. We're talking about bringing in people into our community from abroad. So really, that would take some of the burden off the local people. But transit needs to be funded. You know, it's an 80-20. The federal government pays about 80%, 20%. We pick up the rest of it from the general fund. As you said, it's not profitable. We have to add money to it every year, but it's a service, and so we've got to be able to deliver a good quality service. I think Ms. Tiffany Neal is doing a good job with making it a option of choice versus necessity, to where you can decide to say, hey, I'll catch the bus. But one of the key factors is being able to get around the city, to be able to get to West Fayetteville in a reasonable amount of time. You can't jump on a bus and take you 3 hours to get to West Fayetteville because of the stops. You needed to have routes and enough options that it's a reasonable option. If you need to go to West Fayetteville, you could do it in a comparable amount of time. So I think working on that, but finding a funding source to really make it viable is what we need to do.
Also, we have, you know, we have issues with individuals being able to make it out to our parks and recs events and things like that. And I think this will be a great initiative for that, community development, for getting people to and fro, especially in our low to moderate income areas where they need transportation. Also, infrastructure improvement. The transit will also give us a greater presence of, you know, walkable city that we talk about all the time, riding bicycles and, you know, improving that area in West Fayetteville. I mean, we're looking to do some great things out in West Fayetteville.
That's good. I think that, as you stated, though, transportation is a key issue, without a doubt. When you go to places that got to have going on, you know, like even Atlanta, all those other places, you know. I think they got MARTA there.
Yeah, MARTA.
They have MARTA there, and what I like about them, you know, if you're at airport, you get on the rail. The rail's gonna take you all the way down, making stops.
Right.
You know, you don't have to do anything else. You know, if you got a hotel downtown,
right,
you just get on the rail, and when you get off, wherever you get off, it should be within walking distance.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. It all connects: the air, the rail. They factored into a bigger plan. And as you bring in a place like West Fayetteville, that was very, it was kind of rural or more county. And as you bring it and urbanize it, you know, there's so much growth happening out there. And because you've got the parcels of land for people to put new developments, and you go out there and any time you see building like crazy, we've got to make sure that we've got the way to connect them, because If you don't have transportation, a lot of people move here from up north that don't have driver's license, don't have cars. And it is not easy to maneuver around here if you don't have a vehicle. So we've got to fix that if you plan to be an urbanized area. And tying into the West, as Councilwoman had said, is going to be big. So Ms. Neal's got some money in the budget this year to increase those routes. We need to build a new station so that those buses are not coming all the way back to Grove Street to transfer out or to be serviced or gassed up. So I think she's got some proposals for that. So look forward to working with Councilmember McNair and Mayor Pro Tem and McMillan, who represent that area, to figure out where and how we pay for that. But it's time to get some of the stuff moving, because if not, we're going to get left behind. And certainly, again, like I said, getting with Mayor Anthony and Bellflower, I plan to ask them for some resolutions, and I'll come to the city council for the same, so that we can send that up to our delegation to ask for permission to put it on the ballot to build that out.
Right.
Yeah, as we continue to come up with new programs for our young people, we also want to have transportation for them as well.
Sure. Right.
Okay, that's one of the things that come up once we develop programs is transportation. Now we got to come and figure out how we're going to get them there. Yeah.
So, I think you guys asked me that question on Tuesday, but what are most of the citizens asking for, So even in this budgeting process now, I know, people have wish lists, you know what I mean? Back in the day, they have a wish book come out for Christmas, man, flip through the book. But what are people, the citizens of Fayetteville, what are they asking for? What are they prioritizing? Of course, we know the necessity things like public safety and all of that. We got that piece.
Right.
But what else are they asking for, Mr. Mayor?
I mean, you have your usuals that say, hey, are you funding things for the youth? But it's a generic thought process more so than saying specifically. But youth comes up a lot. They want to make sure that we're doing stuff. They ask about homelessness. They don't really understand whose responsibility and who's the primary lead agency on that. The county has as in most places, they should be the lead agency. They're trying to catch up to speed on that. But we do our part with homelessness. But because you see it and because it impacts a lot of people that live in the city limits, they ask what's the city doing on that, or you should spend money for that. Of course, I get a lot of conversations about the amenity side of it, the quality of life stuff, things to do, sidewalks and people being able to walk and enjoy that, and maintenance. I hear a lot of people about the trash service and things like that to keep the government running aren't new initiatives. It's just a better quality and level of service, which is what we're trying to impress upon him. But all that costs money, and so in the overall scheme of things, as you look to make it a cleaner, better, more walkable, safer place, it costs money, and we got to figure out how to pay for it. And the main thing they're saying is right now, my pockets are being hit from the federal and the states cutting back on things, and so I really can't afford a lot of increase on the local level. So that's the challenge today. That at 10 o'clock that we've got to start to try to figure out how to do that without extra taxation.
Mm-hmm. A few of the things that I have been hit with in the last couple of weeks is the streets that you was talking about earlier. I just received a call the other day that there was a sinkhole in the middle of the street in her neighborhood, and then also I was called out to a particular neighborhood about cul-de-sacs not getting paved. I think that's going to be a policy issue with that, but they was very adamant about getting something done about making sure that their streets are smooth and looking nice and not just surface paved. However, and then also I receive a lot of call about trash collections, as far as the bins, and then understanding that I do believe that there's 3 cans that we have. I think the one particular can is the brown can, that people don't have understanding that you have to purchase that can. I do believe it's $60. Am I correct, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Is it brown? I thought it was green.
It's brown.
Is it a green one too?
Well, you got a green one, a brown one, and a blue one.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the blue is recycling, the green is regular trash, and I think the brown's for yard waste, right?
Yes, yes. And I also just received a call from one of my constituents over on Bunch Road. His concern was the ditch that run across from his house and the neighbor's house. He's been keeping up with that. And so we actually are helping him out with that. And he's very excited about it because he's been trying to get that done for the last 10, 15 years. And so he's excited about that. We'll be working on that here shortly. I've been called out there probably ever since I've been on council, but we're working on it.
And you know, the interesting thing is that the different districts in the different areas have different priorities.
Sure.
You know, and being able to kind of see it from a bigger picture. You know, I see some council member who come and they bring the things that are heavy pressed over there. You got a completely different set of issues on the other side of town. So, you know, a lot of what she just said is true over there, and for some of the District 2 and the inner city areas, they're concerned with the neighborhoods maintaining their vibrance and being taken care of. So, you know, Councilwoman is the head of a committee called Neighborhood Revitalization, and that'll cover most of those, you know, older and legacy communities. That has been a priority of ours to help put programs in place for people to make those house repairs in some of these existing neighborhoods. That program I talked about with the $50,000 construction loan, $50,000 home ownership is for those kind of neighborhoods. So, you know, some of the Broadales, some of the Seabrook Hills, some of the original neighborhoods in the across the city, the Savoy Heights and some of those places, Massey Hill. This is to encourage and to bring those neighborhoods back, and that was a council priority too.
Well, thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Mayor, because we do have a meeting today to figure out. I do understand that there's some policy changes that have to be made in order to serve or complete that project.
Yeah.
Over in West Fayetteville, due to some previous redlining, I think from district over in East Fayetteville and West Fayetteville. So a lot of people in West Fayetteville do not qualify for some of the funding that could help them out, so to speak.
Yeah, well, any policies that we can change to help
Yeah.
level the playing field. But I think she's doing a great job on that committee with getting into the specifics of how it is we bring these neighborhoods and these communities back.
Sure. And I know that those roundabouts are more expensive than people think.
Yeah.
They cost up in the millions of dollars. And that don't look like they could cost that, but they do, you know.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, talking to DOT, is that number one, you know, if someone were to have an accident, it's probably going to be the offender bender. You don't have to worry about, because you got to slow down
Right.
in order to get around that. And I know we have an increased number of those, not only in our community here, but statewide. And matter of fact, on some major roads, 401 North,
Yeah.
as soon as you cross the county line, there's a roundabout there. And when you're going south near Parkton and all that area out there, you know, the roundabouts. So, you know, you got roundabouts in these neighborhoods
Right.
as well. Do you get feedback on that? And also you got the speed humps.
No, I was getting ready to elaborate on.
Yeah.
So, you know, because some people are asking for them.
Right.
Because people do whine, you know, they speed a lot.
I get a lot of calls on speed humps, and some people call them speed bumps. You could speed humps or speed bumps, but I get a lot of calls on those. I do believe they're beneficial in a lot of areas, but however, it does raise somewhat of a red flag with the emergency vehicles, and so we have to take that in consideration.
Right.
If prioritize. I put it that way. We have to prioritize to create structure and order in everything that we do. Just like this budget that we have coming up, structure and order is just like, to me, is looking at my own bank account. And if my bank account, my funds is low, I can't buy a particular participate in a particular thing. I want a nice vehicle like the mayor drives.
Stop
so
it. You got multiple.
I have to check my bank account first. You know what I mean? But however, we're doing a great job working for our citizens here, and I want to continue to do that. I'm learning a lot from the mayor and council and our city staff, and so one day I'll be great just like him.
Oh, look, it's team effort. I mean,
he's a great mayor, y'all.
Well, I appreciate that. But everybody brings their own unique perspective and talents to it. And like I said, it's exciting for me to see. You know, at the beginning of the terms, I try to meet with everybody and they say what's important to them. And so, Councilwoman McNair watched her. You know, it's your third term now. You're
Yes.
old seasoned pro now, so you know she was passionate about small business. She was passionate about bringing these neighborhoods back, you know, and of course the homeless. She had a component with that,
Yes.
but she really wanted to lean in a little bit more to make vitality important with the small businesses. You know, Murchison Road, you ride up and down it. You got a lot of family-owned businesses and people that have started it that are from these neighborhoods and these communities. Those make strong communities, and so we her leading the way with that is appreciated. Being a small business owner, understands the challenges with that, and so to see choice neighborhoods, you know, that HUD is coming down in a week or two to as a part of this process that we picked it back up where we left it. I think we're in a good place to get this grant over here. We missed it the last time, but I understand that they were doing the interviews and the in-person visits now, and so we'll ask the community to keep and be prayerful of that. But that can really change that same type of component that I talked about. You know, because if you're in a community that is distressed and transportation is the issue, like we talked about, you know, the only option for you may be to get a job somewhere that you can walk to or can get to and from. The only option for you to grocery shopping may be you have to have a business in that community. And so that is where those kind of things and what she's doing on that committee will serve us.
And also, let me say this, actually working with the unhoused population, what I've learned is that a lot of them moved to the West Fayetteville area around Walmart. Around Walmart to be able to walk to work. Yeah. And so I think, you know, having transit out there would be great in West Fayetteville.
Well, our
to
time
eliminate
is up.
some of that.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Our time is up. So will it be televised, that 10 o'clock meeting?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you all tune in, watch, see what they're doing with that penny.
FayeTV.net.
When they see a penny, they're saying 2.4 million. Okay, just remember that.
We are not looking to raise taxes.
Appreciate you guys.
Not at all.
Thank you all so much, and have a great day. And you know, I know you guys have a hard job. You got to make some tough decisions, and everybody's not going to be happy with what you do. Yeah. So just understand that.
Thank you.
That's life.
Yep.
Okay. So, right.
Yeah, the job's tough.
That's right. So
the job is tough.
Have a great one. Appreciate you.
See ya.